Well, I think the main challenge with taking such a massively orchestrated show and then trying to reduce that down for what essentially we have as 8 players is to try and retain the essence of the fantastic original orchestrations, because obviously within Millie you've got so many different musical styles which place you in the period of the piece. You know, Dixieland, jazz was sort of emerging, and sort of try and get that while at the same time sometimes only being able to use maybe 2 or 3 players at a time for certain songs, because obviously you have to have other responsibilities, dancing and singing wise, is a challenge. But also because the original orchestration was so beautifully constructed, and some of those Dixieland lines were so beautifully drawn out of the vocal arrangement, it's trying to retain as much of the original as possible when you haven't got 3 trumpets and you haven't got 4 reed players and you haven't got a massive rhythm section which double on lots of different bits and pieces and swap instruments. So not having the luxury of the pit musician setup for this particular show is very, very challenging indeed, and a lot of hard work for the actor muso that has to learn each part, of course, from memory, which makes a big difference. So some of the lines that you can arrange and you can look at, you have to have bear that in mind when you're sort of thinking about what they will be able to remember to play whilst dancing, and then going into a bit of singing, and then going back to playing a very difficult Dixieland trumpet line. So it's kind of negotiating those things and thinking, is that reasonable for me to ask them to play a top B flat on the trumpet and then take a breath and sing a top B flat vocally? So it's those things that are really, how far can I push that is my question while I'm sitting in the room trying to arrange it. I think what the audience really enjoy at the Watermill is seeing the mechanics of those changes, and also, seeing those musicians play that underscore, because obviously in an original London or Broadway production, you kind of listen to it, but you're not particularly aware of the musicians playing it, because they're in the pits. You might just sort of see the conductor's arm waving around, but that's about it. So it's really fun, I think, to experience that, and so how we arrive at that can take, is a long process, I would say, because it is kind of juggling everything and making compromises, and for each of the creative team we have to really understand our counterparts' job and how they want those people and we want those people, and that coming together, we hopefully end up with something great.